What if I told you that Genghis Khan, the man considered by many to be the greatest conqueror in history, actually lost his biggest battle? And that his rival, Alexander the Great, who died over a millennium before Genghis was even born, is actually the one who should be considered the winner? Keep watching to find out why. Alexander the Great's empire stretched from Greece to India. He was a brilliant military commander who won almost every battle he ever fought. When Alexander passed away in 323 BCE, his vastly expanded empire was divided among his friends and family at the now famous Treaty of Babylon. But Genghis Khan didn't have any friends or family to help him expand his empire. He built his 100-year empire all by himself, conquering most of Asia and Eastern Europe along the way. But he didn't live in a time where there were any other great conquerors like Alexander the Great. So how do we compare the two? Well, let's see what would happen if Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan were to go head-to-head in their own personal battle royale. Alexander the Great was a master of strategy and tactics, but Genghis Khan was a brilliant military commander too. Both men led their armies with courage and determination, but Genghis was a ruthless killer who wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty. He was also a master of logistics and supply, which allowed his army to stay in the field for long periods of time without needing to stop and resupply. This would be useful in a long campaign, like the one that Alexander undertook to conquer India. But it wouldn't be as necessary in a shorter, sharper battle like the ones Alexander was used to fighting. Alexander the Great had a much more disciplined and professional army than Genghis Khan. His soldiers were full-time professionals who were well-trained and equipped. Genghis, on the other hand, raised a much larger army. But they were only part-time soldiers who had to return to their families and farms after the harvest was finished. In addition, Genghis' soldiers were not as well equipped or trained as Alexander's. Alexander the Great was also a master of siege warfare, and he would have no problem besieging and capturing cities. Genghis Khan, on the other hand, preferred to avoid sieges altogether, and he would often simply ride around them. If a city refused to surrender, then he would set up camp nearby and starve them out. This would work against an unprepared city, but against a prepared city, it could take months or even years to starve them out. And in this scenario, we are assuming that both leaders are at the height of their powers. So neither army is starving. Both leaders are known for their incredible courage and determination. But ultimately, I think that Genghis Khan would prevail in a one-on-one fight. He was a skilled swordsman and a ruthless fighter. Alexander the Great was known for his bravery, but he was also known for being a bit reckless at times.